Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to Connect Classes. Today we'll talk about why farm laws repeal. So let's start the video. So first we'll talk about the three farm laws which were introduced in 2020. Uh, in a very deeply and precisely manner. After that, we'll discuss that why these farm laws come into public domain, that why the government has introduced these farm laws, what is the political reason behind this, and after that we'll talk about what is the political reason before for repealing this farm bills. So first and foremost is Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020. Okay, so out of the three farm laws, this one is the first and foremost law, that Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020. So this expands the scope of trade areas of farmers produce from select areas. Okay, uh, wait a second now. See, uh, so farmers produce from select areas to any place of production, collection, and aggregation. Allows electronic trading. Okay, allows electronic trading and e-commerce of scheduled farmers produce. Prohibits state governments from the levying any market fees, sales, or levy on farmers traders and electronic trading platforms for the trade of farmers produce conducted in an outside trade area. That means under this law the government has tried to say that the farmer, suppose he or she is producing her or his crops in a particular state, let's suppose in Chhattisgarh, then he or she will be able to sell it in another state, let's say Jammu and Kashmir, right now it's Union Territory, let's say in Punjab, or in Delhi, or in any area of India. But the problem is, before that, before introducing these laws also, farmers were able to sell their products outside the zonal zone. But there they were finding certain obstacles, certain hurdles to sell their crops. But right now, after passing of this bill, this will be easy for them to sell their products across the state. But I don't think that this will be any impact on the farmers lifestyle or farmers income, because this was already running in past and there is nothing new in it, okay, in this law. So this one is the outside trade area law. Okay, now we'll talk about the second law. Okay, Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020. This provides a legal framework for farmers to enter into a pre-arranged contracts. Okay, this is what is called as contract farming. Okay, with buyers, including mention of pricing, defines a dispute resolution mechanism. See what is happening, that in minimum support price, okay, so government has fixed for a particular crop a particular price before the farmer producing that particular crop. Okay, suppose let's say wheat's MSP, let's government has decided for this particular year is 25 rupees. Okay, per kg will be 25 rupees wheat, and that price will be validated after the farmer has produced that wheat and will go to FCI, that is Food Corporation India office. Okay, zonal offices are there, and they are um, what bound to buy those wheat or crops on the same price, on the MSP price only. That is, they are bound to buy it on rupees 25 rupees. So in that way the farmers can be benefited. But in that case also, if the farmer is being benefited from other, let's say, huts or other local markets, that let's suppose when before doing the crop, before harvesting the crop, it was like 25 rupees of per kg of wheat, and after that wheat price suddenly rises up, and now he or she can sell his crop or wheat at a local market at a price of 50 rupees. So he or she will have an option at that point of time that she can go to FCI office, journal office to sell her crops, or she can go to local market to sell her crops. See, nobody is, I mean, nobody wants to lose their money. So obviously, wherever they will get more profit, they will go to there. So that's what for this only this MSP will be diminishing under this law, because in contract farming what will happen, there are so many companies, let's say less chips company, okay, you will find a lot of less chips, whichever shop you are visiting, you can find less chip or something related to that kind of potato chips, okay. So for that, potato is the prime substance. Okay, so when less company will want to produce the less chips, so they want that a particular amount of potatoes will be required for their output, for their production purpose. So they will contact the engineer, and that engineer will tell them that in a particular land, let's say in 10-acre land, okay, they will be able to grow that much of potato what the demand is, okay. So that 10-acre farm cannot be, I mean, cannot belong to a single person, because in India, what is happening, the lands are dividing day by day. Suppose you are having 1 acre of land and you have four sons, then that 1 acre land will be divided into four parts after your death, or after you are giving them the properties. Okay, so that company will approach those farmers that this 10-acre farmer land belongs to us. I mean, we'll do a contract with you guys that you guys have to grow potatoes for this season in the particular land, 10-acre land, and just tell us a fixed price. Just tell us a fixed price that at which price you want to sell the potatoes to us. Okay, so let's say they will tell ki it will be 30 rupees per kg, or it will be 40 rupees per kg, or 20 rupees per kg, and that company, after harvesting of potatoes, will have to buy those potatoes at the price fixed before. Okay, so the after that they will harvest the potatoes. Okay, but here there are so many problems. Let's say after doing this contract farming, farmer will find that his or her crops, her product, let's say crops, or let's say wheat or potatoes, are being sold in local market at a more price. So they have fixed that price at 20 rupees, and they are now getting like 30 or 40 rupees. So the farmer may approach the local market to sell his or her product. And in contradictory, the company may deny to buy that crop after harvesting, because there are so many reasons. The company may fall loss, the company may close down. So for that, I think the government has fixed those local market, what do you call it, mediators. Okay, So in that also they will what they will do, they will digest some money from the company, and they will deny that yes, the company is not able to buy a product. So in that case, what they can do, they can approach the village sarpanch, okay, village chief, for the dispute resolution purpose. Okay. So for contact farming, I don't think that there is any, I mean, dispute will be there. But for this also, there is some political view that we will discuss later on. Now let's go to this third point, third law. Now this is Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020, which removes foodstuffs such as cereals, pulses, potato, onions, edible oilseeds, and oils from the list of essential commodities, removing stockholding limits on agricultural items produced by horticulture techniques, except under the extraordinary circumstances requires that the imposition of any stock limit on agricultural produce only occur if there is a steep price rise. Okay. So under this law, storage of cereals, pulses, potato, onions, edible oil seeds, okay, and oils from the list of essential commodities. Okay. See, as per the law, I think in 1994, that essential commodities cannot be stored. Okay, that means if a distributor or a dealer is storing essential commodities to I mean to sell those essential commodities when the price will rise, because if demand will be, then the price will be rise. So that's for that purpose they are storing the essential commodities. Like you can, for example, you can think about oxygen cylinders. When second wave of corona cases were there, some people were reserving oxygen cylinders with themselves, and they are selling it on black. Okay, so because on black they were getting more profit. So in that case, essential commodities cannot be stored. But now in this act, what government has told that cereals, pulses, and potato, onions, edible oilseeds, and oils, they are excluding these things from essential commodities. Okay, so those things can be stockholding. That means those things price can be rise. In this law, the government has told that farmers also can store these essential commodities with themselves. See, in this case, I would like to say that farmers are the, I mean, they are the poorest. In Indian farmers, they are not getting much profit, so they are not able to store the things. So who can store the things? Only the distributors or dealers or the mediators only can. Those people can store the things because they have those essential store cold storage rooms where they can store the things, but farmers cannot store the things. And when the farmer is harvesting something, they are in a hurry to sell those products because they don't have any time. They have to prepare for the next crops to grow. Okay, so they cannot store it. So practically it's impossible for a farmer to store the things. So okay, so this will be only benefiting the companies, food um, product companies, okay, food producing companies. So I don't think that this will be benefiting for the farmers. So why the farmers are doing this all uh, things to by saying that these laws are not being benefited for them, because they are thinking their MSP, their minimum support price, will be vanished after implementing these laws. For your kind information, I would like to say that these laws, after passed in Parliament, the Supreme Court has put a stay order on these laws, but because they have told a particular committee, they have told the government to organize a committee which committee will understand the points of government as well as the farmers, and after that these laws can only be implemented. But now only our prime minister has said that in winter season of parliament these laws will be repealed. This winter season is going to start on 29th November. Okay. Now, reason for the Amendment Act. Okay, now we'll discuss that what is the political viewpoint of these acts to be implemented. Because when these acts were implemented, uh, that at that point of time it was like June, okay, and June 2020, and in June, I don't think that there were, yes, crisis was there for Corona, but I don't think that there were any emergency to introduce these laws, because if some bill is being passed from Parliament on an emergency basis, that is under Article 79 and under Article 123, then that should be in a crisis time or under emergency purpose. So these act were introduced at that point of time. So we'll discuss right now. Political pressure from developed countries through WTO. Okay, through WTO to buy their agricultural products which are easy to grow in tropical and subtropical regions, and want India to grow spices and other commercialized products to export and import grains from European Union as well as from North America. See, what developed countries are doing through WTO, that is World Trading Organization, what they want that wheat and rice can also be grown by developed countries, because their climate is also tropical and subtropical kind, and in that climate also they can grow the wheat and rice. But Indian climate is suitable for a various of crops, various of spices. What they were trading during the time of say, 15th century or 16th century or 14th century. Okay, so they were trading spices from India. For that purpose, what they are telling to developing countries such as India, Pakistan, and all, that you guys don't have to produce wheat or rice of your own. You guys can buy wheat and rice from us, and you guys, according to your climate, you should produce spices and other things which will be for commercial purpose, and which will be I mean easy to trade, which will be better to trade to us, because spices prices are quite high, okay, because those spices are not being produced by each and every farmer, because Indian farmers are only focusing on, basically most of the farmers are focusing on growing wheat and rice. So for that purpose they are putting pressure on India and Pakistan and other neighboring countries. In this way they want to export these surplus grains to developing countries and import spices, edible oils, etc. from them. Okay, so that I have told you, they want these surplus grains to be bought by developing countries, and they want to import spices and other edible oils and other things from the developing countries for trading purpose. As Indian farmers grow rice and wheat as their major agricultural products, so the political pressure in COP26 Glasgow Summit was put by proposing the point to remove the subsidies to farmers on LPG gas, etc. See, if you have gone to my video of COP26 outcomes, you will get to know that India has denied that proposing point of developed countries in UK Glasgow COP26 committee, that they want India to remove the subsidies which subsidies are given to farmers, which subsidies are given to LPG gas users, and they want to manage this subsidy to what they are doing, that basically they were focusing on climate change. So for that purpose India has put a point that if we'll stop giving subsidies on LPG gas and all, Then what people will do, they will use wood as fuel. Okay, wood fuel can harm the forest and can also harm the environment. Okay, so in that way India is denied. Okay, now reason for the repeal of the act. See, the first and foremost reason, which I will say, I think every one of you know, that elections of Punjab and Uttar Pradesh are going to be held. Okay, so for that purpose, that is the most important point, because see, the farmers who are protesting, okay, who are protesting, they are basically from Punjab and this Uttar Pradesh region under Rakesh ticket. Okay, here I have mentioned upcoming elections are there in Punjab and Uttar Pradesh. Okay, where most of the farmers were on strike under leadership of Mr. Rakesh ticket for the repeal of farm bills. Okay, now the act was passed during June session and of Parliament, which should be under emergency and crisis session as per the Constitution, Article 123 and Article 79. That I have already told you that this has passed during June, which should be passed during the time of emergency and crisis. Yes, crisis was there, but there were no emergency. So that was also a drawback of this law. The proposition of developed countries in COP26 for removing the subsidies were declined by India, as developed countries also give the farmers monetary help. Yes, they are also giving the farmers monetary help. Then who are there to stop who are there to stop us from giving our farmers subsidies? There are nobody now. Monetary helps for the welfare and LPG gas subsidies removal may result in wood fuel and can impact the climate. That I have already told you. Okay, now the conclusion part. Minimum support price for farmers and corruption-free officers of FCI Food Corporation of India. See, minimum support price should be there. The farmers should get minimum support price. See, MSP, though it has been introduced, but I don't think that MSP is getting being benefited for each and every farmer. MSP is only getting Haryana and Punjab and some other states farmers only 6% of farmers they are only getting MSP price. Others are, I think 94% of farmers are selling to local market or other vendors. Okay. So MSP, I don't think that that is being benefited for each and every farmer, but MSP is much more needed. Farmers should educate themselves, should know the rights, should know the MSP before producing any product. Okay, so that should be there. And corruption free officers, see what is happening there, that I have told you. FCI zonal offices are there, Food Corporation of India. Okay, so let's say one product has to be bought by government on MSP of rupees 20. Okay, so when the farmer is approaching that zonal FCI office, those corrupted officers, they are what they are doing, they are saying the farmer that they don't have space to put his or her product. So right now they don't have any space, so they can approach after some time. See, farmer is always in a hurry to sell their product. So what that farmer will do, that farmer will go to a local vendor or local market to sell his product, because see, vegetables and all those you have to sell it on an emergency basis, otherwise those things will be in a damaged or I mean those things won't be in a condition to eat for eating purpose. So they have to sell it as soon as possible. So they will approach the local vendor, and that local vendor will tell them that, see, though the government has fixed the price that MSP is 25 rupees or 20 rupees, we are not in a position to buy that on MSP price. So we will give you per kg 10 rupees. Okay. Instead of 25 rupees, the vendor is giving him or her only 10 rupees. So the farmer is getting loss of 15 rupees in that case. Okay, 15 rupees. Okay, So after that farmer has sold his product or her product, the zonal officer, the FCI officer will approach that local vendor and ask him that what is the price that vendor has given to farmer. He will say, let's say he won't be that loyal, so he will say instead of 10 rupees, he will say I have bought it on 15. Let's say so the FCI officer, he will say I will give you 18 rupees, okay, per kg, and give it to me, okay. So when the government has fixed the MSP of 25 rupees, okay, he's been getting it on 18 rupees, so total 7 rupees profit is there. So per kg that officer is getting 7 rupees. In this way those corrupted officers will digest the money of farmers, so that shouldn't be there. That should be taken care of by government. Farmers income since independence has increased only 21 times, okay. So if somebody was getting in 1947 that 1 rupees, one farmer was getting 1 rupees, then now he is getting 21 rupees. Though some people will think that yes, they are being improving, they are getting much more money when after independence and since independence. But see, my brother and sisters, government officers, okay, salary has been increased by 180 times. Whichever the government officer was getting 1 rupee since, I mean, during the time of 1947, now is getting 180 rupees. Our president was getting 60,000 at that point of time in 1947. Now he is getting 5 lakh per month. So in that sense, by comparing to that, what farmers are getting? They are getting nothing, only 21 rupees. So their growth is negligible. Okay, and sometimes what is happening that uh, farmers, though they are not being educated, they are not being introduced to the new market, they are not being introduced to the strategy of marketing. So what they are thinking, let's suppose today in this year they are producing rice, and every a lot of farmers has produced rice, so rice was being sold at rupees 2, or say at rupees 12, MSP is 12, okay, but market price is, let's say, 8 rupees, okay, 8 rupees. So farmer is thinking, in this year I have harvested rice and it is being sold at 8 rupees. What I will do, I will do in next year, I will try to grow, let's say, tomatoes, okay, in next season, tomato. So because tomato price is today, let's say 60 rupees, okay. So he is thinking that he will be benefited from this, but like him or her, every farmer is thinking in that way. So every farmer will grow tomato, then what will happen in next season, the tomato price will be 8, so farmer won't be able to get the profit from it. So that has to be minimized, that has to be identified, and farmers should be known about this, and they should be informed that in this particular area some people are harvesting crops of wheat or rice, so in another area some people should try to harvest, let's say, tomatoes, try to harvest potatoes, try to harvest other edible oils, peanuts, something like that, okay. So that is what third point is. Government should plan to give a proper strategy to different area of farmers to grow products on a unity basis to fulfill the food requirement of India to export the surplus amount. So the harvesting the grow of crops in such a manner, the farmers should grow crops in such a manner that It should fulfill the requirement of our food requirement, as well as we can export the surplus amount. And in for that purpose, they shouldn't harvest rice on a huge basis. They shouldn't harvest tomatoes. They shouldn't harvest potatoes in a huge basis. There should be a particular strategy that will whole India farmers will produce rice at a particular amount. If some farmers are producing rice, then other farmers will try to produce wheat, then other farmers will try to produce peanuts, then other farmers will try to produce tomatoes and other vegetables. So that should have a strategy, that should be known to them. Otherwise it's not possible to make them benefited. Okay. Moreover, farmers should adapt themselves to the modern techniques and try to produce according to the requirements of people rather than going by the traditional methods. Yes. See, farmers should educate themselves, farmers should adapt themselves in modern technologies. Farmers should know that what is the requirement of people, and by doing what, which product will be benefited. It shouldn't be like that every farmer is producing rice or every farmer is producing wheat. So there will be only wheat. There won't be any other substances. So they should know to themselves, they should know that yes, for Maharashtra in this year, Maharashtra farmers are producing rice, so Odisha farmers should produce wheat. Then Chhattisgarh farmers should produce maize. Then Madhya Pradesh farmers should produce peanuts. That should known to them. They should know the proper strategy to produce the proper um, product as per the requirement. Okay, now thanks to all. That's my time. Hopefully you like the video. If you like the video, if you want me to upload more and more videos, then please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned. Thank you.